The Madhya Pradesh High Court has observed that the mere filing of a charge sheet by the police does not justify the framing of charges by the trial court. The court, referring to various apex court decisions, also said that it is absolutely essential for the trial court to summarily state the basis on which it forms an opinion justifying the framing of charges against an accused. These observations were made in a revision petition filed by persons against whom charges under Section 306 were framed by the trial court. The court also allowed the revision petition and discharged the accused. The Enforcement Directorate or ED attached shares worth Rs 86 crores belonging to 3 companies from Singapore, Mauritius and Dubai in connection with the Augusta Westland VVIP chopper scam. The foreign entities had invested in Indian companies linked to the scam. Based on searches, ED issued freezing orders under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act against shares worth Rs 86 crores owned by the companies in Dubai, Mauritius and Singapore. The ED had earlier conducted searches on June 15th at 10 locations of these companies in Delhi, Mumbai and Hyderabad and unearthed evidences of transfer of funds linked to a Mauritius-based company, Interstellar. The Hyderabad High Court told the Telangana government that it will not allow axing of even a single tree inside the KBR park. The court, while hearing a public interest petition filed by environmentalist K. Purushottam Reddy, challenged the state's Strategic Road Development Project or SRDP and said that felling of trees was not a solution. The US Supreme Court on June 20th limited the scope of federal racketeering law, handing R.J. Reynolds' American Tobacco Company a victory in its efforts to fend off a lawsuit by European Union nations accusing the company of running a global money laundering scheme involving narcotics smuggling in Europe. The court in its ruling reversed a lower court decision that backed the EU and 26 member states. The court in its judgment said that allowing foreign investors to pursue private suits in the United States would upset that delicate balance and offend the sovereign interests of foreign nations. In a pair of decisions delivered on June 20th, the US Supreme Court again demonstrated its defense to law enforcement priorities, in one case by expanding an exception to the long-standing ruling requiring that unlawfully gathered evidence be discarded, and in another by holding that drug dealers, even those engaged only in street corner sales, are engaged in interstate commerce. The two decisions expand the ability of local police to skirt the law without effective punishment on the one hand, and allow prosecutors to use weight of the federal criminal justice system to come down on small-time criminals whose cases would normally be the purview of local authorities on the other. The US Supreme Court refused on June 21st to hear a Second Amendment challenge to a Connecticut law banning many semi-automatic rifles. The law, enacted in 2013 in the wake of the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, made it a crime to sell or possess the firearms which critics call assault weapons. The court's action underlined its reluctance to insert itself into the simmering national debate on gun control. The Supreme Court issued important rulings in gun cases in 2008 and 2010 but has not taken up a major firearms case since then. The US Supreme Court upheld a system that has helped companies like Google and Apple invalidate hundreds of disputed patents without having to go to court. The nation's highest court backed the rules using an administrative board that critics have labeled a death squad because of its tendency to throw out patents. The case divided the technology industry and the broader business community. Google, Apple, Samsung Electronics, and the generic pharmaceutical and banking industries support the system as a way to weed out dubious patents. The biotechnology and brand name drug industries, along with ExxonMobil and Tessera Technologies, said the rights of patent owners are being unfairly undercut.